Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have something really special to show you, really cool to show you I should say. I have found dupes for some of the Natasha Denona palettes. I believe this would be the large size palettes. I am personally a huge fan of Natasha Denona's formula, and I honestly think she is the best eyeshadows, hands down. So today in particular we'll be looking at the Tropic palette. However, I found two of them that I'd like to show you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave me a comment down below. The palettes that I found are from Ccolor Cosmetics. I actually found them in a Winners, but they're available online. So these are the two palettes right here. We have the Twilight palette and the Tropical palette. So these sizes here both retail for $12 US online. I found mine for I think $5 Canadian, so a really good price. The first one that we have here is supposed to be a dupe for the Leela palette. This one is called Twilight. And to be honest, oh, I just dug my finger in there. Whoopsie. To be honest, I don't think this is a very good dupe. Already by looking at the colors here and the colors of the actual Leela palette, all of these are pretty much shimmers with the exception of 4 mattes. The Leela palette has a couple more shimmers. The only thing that I think makes them call this a dupe is that the color stories of both of them are very similar. However, I think that personally, I don't think that you could achieve exactly the same looks with both of these palettes. However, if you like the color story overall, I think that this is a good option. So this one is the Leela palette swatched, and I can already tell you by swatching it that this formula is nothing compared to the Natasha Denona formulas that I know quite well. I personally have not used the Leela palette. However, compared to a lot of her other palettes that I do have and do use, the formula on this is just, it's not the same. Some of the mattes on here like barely show up. A lot of the sparkles are okay, but just not as creamy as the Natasha Denona formula. Okay, so next up I have the Tropical palette, and this one again retails for $12 American on their website, and this is supposed to be a dupe for the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. That's what the inside of it looks like. And this is the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. And this is what the inside of it looks like. So this is both of them side by side. The Ccolor Cosmetics palettes are definitely they're a lot smaller than the Natasha Denona ones. However, for a fraction of the price, I don't necessarily think it's worth it just on size alone to get the Natasha Denona one, because I mean, if you do usually hit pans on eyeshadows, which I usually don't, I even think if you hit pan on this, just keep rebuying it for the price because you're still saving quite a bit. So already the Tropic palette did swatch a lot better than the Leela palette. These are the palettes swatched next to each other. They are very, very, very similar on this color story. Like, I'm actually very impressed. Natasha Denona is the top row and Ccolor Cosmetics is the bottom row. I actually think the mattes on the Ccolor Cosmetics are actually more pigmented than the Natasha Denona mattes. However, the Natasha Denona glitters are more pigmented than the Ccolor Cosmetics one. There are a little bit of discrepancies on the shades at the end here. The green on the Natasha Denona one is lighter than the Ccolor Cosmetics, and the dark blue, the second last blue there, on the Natasha Denona seems to be a little bit darker than the Ccolor Cosmetics. But other than that, they all seem very, very similar. So now we're actually going to create a look with both of them. I think we're going to go in with Natasha Denona on this side, and we will do Ccolor Cosmetics on this side. First, I'm going to start with a crease shade. So I think I'm going to go in on the Natasha Denona one with the shade Fake Tan. So I just want to make sure that I blend this in there. And then the corresponding shade on the other side, well, there's no shades, but it's the one in the middle there. I'm going to take the one in the middle. Oh wow, yeah, this one is very, very pigmented, so just don't go in too heavy-handed. I actually think I need a tiny bit more on the Natasha Denona side. I want to give like a nice base for the glitters to be on. I think I'm going to go in, I'm a little worried to see this, but I'm going to go in with shade Laguna. This shade seems incredibly patchy. I'm actually going to take some setting spray onto my brush and do this because this shade just seems very, very patchy. I've used this palette before. I've not used this shade in particular. Okay, yes, the setting spray definitely helps. I will say, even like as you blend the shade, it does not blend as easily as Natasha Denona pigments usually blend. Like, I am very shocked right now that there is just so much patchiness in the shade here. So we're gonna leave it like that for now because we are gonna put some glitters on top of it. So now I'm going to go in to the middle shade on the bottom here. And I'm actually gonna go in first without wetting my brush because I wanna see if this one is as patchy as the Natasha Denona one. This is going on very, very smoothly. Oh my goodness. Okay, so even this side here, I mean, the blue shadow just went up. I don't know if you can see it. It went up completely into my crease there. Ugh, what the heck? Okay, so I'm going to take some of the Natasha Denona Fake Tan again, and I'm going to try to put it back into the crease. Now we're going to go in to the glitters. So I'm going to take the shade, let's see, Mint Frost on the Natasha Denona side, and that one is kind of going to go in the inner half of my eye. I think I'm gonna try it first with a brush. I'm gonna see what happens. Okay, so this is with a brush. I'm going to dip into my finger and see how much more payoff I get with my finger. You get a little bit more with the finger, which is with most glitters, to be fair. That's why I usually like doing it with a finger, but it's always interesting to try it with a brush first. So now this side here, we're going to go in with the, where is it? There it is. That's the corresponding shade on the Ccolor Cosmetics side. So again, we're going to wet the brush first, and we're going to try applying the glitter with the brush. This is actually kind of as I expected from the swatches. The glitters on the Ccolor Cosmetics side just aren't the same as the Natasha Denona one. I mean, it's not bad. It is going on there. It just, I find it's not as creamy, so it's just not as smooth when you rub it onto your eye. You have to do a little bit more of, oh yeah, there we go, a pat in there. Okay, so that's the glitter on this side and this side. We are now going to get our, work on our crease a little bit. We're gonna get the brush and we're just going to, we're not gonna apply any more product onto there right now, but we're gonna blend it out. Now I'm going to take the shade Tiger Lily, right there, and then Natasha Denona side. And you know, I'm just gonna apply this with my finger, especially since I want to target the outer eye here. I'm gonna pat that in there. I'm aiming for about half the eye. I want to pat that into like about half the eye, and then I'm gonna blend it in a bit. And then we're gonna take our brush and we're just going to blend in that line there. I always move outwards, that way you're going from light to dark. Yeah, I definitely need a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna try wetting my brush and applying. Okay, I actually think the brush is doing a better job with this shade than my finger was. Corresponding shade on the Ccolor Cosmetics side is right there, that blue we're gonna use in the bottom row. Okay, I'm gonna try my finger first like I did with the other side and see how that works. Okay, it works so much better with the finger, wow. And honestly, the shade of blue is slightly different than the other one. I think I like it better. Oh my goodness. So now I'm gonna tidy up the corners just a little bit on the sides here. On my beauty blender that I was using earlier, and I'm just gonna dab just the corners of my eyes like this. I'm gonna add that yellow shade into my inner corner because I just think it's just gorgeous. It actually blended very nicely with the blue. Now we're gonna use the other side. Okay, I actually think for this shade, the Limoncello one, I like the Natasha Denona side better. I think it just blends a lot smoother with the blue, and it's just a lot more pigmented, this glitter. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I like the Natasha Denona side better for this one. I'm gonna start with some Tiger Lily, and I'm gonna take that shade. Let's see what kind of a brush do I want to use. Okay, I'm gonna take a brush, and I want it kind of to line out my bottom lash line just a bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to wet the brush for this one again. It's the shade in general, it doesn't matter what you do with it. The Tiger Lily shade, you have to wet your brush. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into that dark blue shade again on the Ccolor Cosmetics side. And I'm gonna wet the brush again. Oh my goodness, yeah, the shade just is so much more pigmented on the Ccolor Cosmetics side. You can see the difference already. Side is more pigmented, and this side I went in a couple of times with. We're going to take the brush we used earlier for all over the lid, and we're going to take some of the Laguna shade, and we're just going to buff that in a little bit at the bottom. Wow, okay, I forgot that that one's more pigmented. One thing that kind of, I'm going to use that crease brush, and I'm going to use it to kind of diffuse that, because that did go on quite strong. Okay, that's better. That's more just like a, not as strong. Yeah, it's one thing that really bothers me about palettes is when the pigment is very inconsistent, because you go in with one shade and you know you have to go very heavy-handed with it, and then another shade and it's suddenly pigment is there and it's just like, oh my goodness, what do you even do with it? Okay, so I did my mascara, and I also put on some eyebrow gel. I'm gonna finish my face now with some Natasha Denona products since this video was on her palette. So I have the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette, which looks like this. So I'm gonna use this one, and then I also have, I just got it, a little mini bronze and highlighting powder. So first I'm gonna go into the bronzer on this one. Let's take some bronzer. We're gonna warm up our cheeks with it. I always go the side of my cheeks here, and I just kind of take it up. And so now we're going to go in, we're gonna do the powder blush here because I already did my face powder, so I don't really want to be putting a cream blush on top. However, I've used the cream blush in this palette before, in the face palette, and it is very nice. So we're just going to take that on the apples of our cheeks here. And I think I'm gonna try the highlight in this little duo, because I haven't tried this one yet. I've tried the other ones. I do like those highlights. And then to finish, I have, where is it? Oh, I have one of her liquid lips that I just ordered in my BoxyCharm add-ons. It's a very nude shade, so I think it could work on this look. So let's just apply some of this one here. This is the Milk Hydra setting spray. I love this setting spray. This is the final look. Natasha Denona side over here. and the Ccolor Cosmetics side. Well, my final thoughts on the Ccolor Tropical Palette versus the Natasha Denona Tropic Palette. I think that this is an incredible dupe. I really do. I think the color stories of these two are like spot on with minor shade exceptions. But other than that, like, I think overall the looks that were created with these are very similar, and I don't think you could really be able to tell. I will say, in terms of the quality of these palettes, I think overall the Ccolor Cosmetics palette is a better quality. I do. I think that it was a lot easier to work with. It was easier to blend with. The mattes in the Ccolor Cosmetics palette are just, I mean, they're incredible. Like, they really are, and they blended so easily, where the mattes in the Natasha Denona Tropic palette just, they did not perform as well. They really didn't. And I mean, it's a shame because this palette is, what was the price on it? $126 US or something like that, where this one is $12 US. I mean, like, this is freaking expensive, and you are paying for, if you're paying that much for a palette, you want all of it to perform well. And I will say the only thing that I think was really good in this palette is the shimmers. The shimmers were amazing, with the exception of that Tiger Lily shade was like horrendous. But the Mint Frost, the Limoncello shade, and the Goosty shade, which I've used before, those are beautiful shades. Overall, I think that if you are considering in buying either of these palettes because you want to achieve a very bright tropical summery look or a nice vacation look, I highly recommend the Ccolor Cosmetics Tropical Palette. You know, and I mean, it is a pretty palette. It's not as fancy looking as the Natasha Denona palette. However, I do think overall it performs a lot better, and it's a fraction of the price. I would recommend a lot of Natasha Denona palettes to anybody. I think they're incredible. However, this palette, I would not recommend to somebody. I don't know, guys. What side do you think performed better? Why don't you leave me that in the comments below. Do you think that the Natasha Denona side looks better, or the Ccolor Cosmetics side looks better? Or do you think that either or works fine and that they do look pretty much the same? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you liked this video, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm planning on posting a lot more videos. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in my next video. Bye.